Okay, so we're gonna start by creating the monorepo and set up Nest.js for the backend and Vite for the front end. For the monorepo, we're gonna use Turbo, and for the package manager pnpm. So let's start by opening this. There we go. The terminal pnpm init. Yeah, there's no dash y. Now we set up the workspaces. So we're gonna go pnpm workspaces, no, workspace.yaml. We're gonna packages. We're gonna have our packages in the packages folder and our applications in apps. Voila. So in the apps we're gonna have our backend and frontend, and in package we're probably gonna have a common package to share types. So there we go. I went and created the apps and packages folder. Now I'm gonna create a docker compose.yaml. I'm gonna copy over a Docker Compose I have from other projects. Later we might add stuff to this, maybe a key cloak for authentication, stuff like that. But for now, this will do. Database Postgres. It always starts unless I tell it to not to restart. The ports is the basic port, a little volume here, Redis, uh, the basic port, and that's it. Okay, now we're gonna create our Nest.js app and Vite app. So for the Nest app, if you don't have the Nest CLI, you can install it with this app, but I already have it, so I'm gonna do Nest new and my project name, so I'm just gonna say backend. So I'm gonna use pnpm. You're free to use whatever you want, but like pnpm. So Vite Nest.js ended the setup. I'm gonna delete these tests. So we will have tests, integration tests, but end-to-end tests, but I don't want it in that folder, so I'm gonna delete all the tests for now. This looks good. So I went over everything and everything looks good to me. I know this video is not going to be very interesting because I'm just doing setup everything. I'm setting up everything, but I do want to do everything from scratch and show everything, so uh, I have to go through this step. And for Vite, the command is npm create Vite. We're going to name it front end framework. We're going to use React. Yeah. TypeScript. Okay, let's go inside the front end pnpm install. There we go. And then package, let's go here. What is it to start? pnpm dev. Let's take a look at this. Okay, we have our basic Vite app. I'm not, I'm not gonna install Turbo as long as I don't need it. So this is good now. And in the backend, I'm gonna create a modules folder in which I'm gonna create a app module. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna move all of this in here. The app service I'm gonna remove though, an app controller as well actually, and up like this. And now here I'm gonna create, oops, we're gonna set up Prisma now. So here I'm gonna create a Prisma module. I know I can use the Nest CLI, but it's a quick setup. So the module and the Prisma service. Okay, so let's see. So I'm gonna go into the backend and then pnpm add at prisma slash clients and pnpm x prisma init. There we go. We have a Prisma file now after waiting for a bit. So here we're using the database URL, so we have to create a .env file, which we already have actually. It created it automatically, but we have to connect it to our Docker Compose that we made earlier. So let's go look at what the username, password is, etc. So my user password. So this is okay here to just define the password inside the Docker Compose because I'm only ever going to use this Docker Compose locally to develop locally. I'm never going to use this in production. In production, we'll use Kubernetes, and in order to store secrets, we're going to probably use what's it called? AWS Secret Manager, I think, or Google Cloud Secret Manager, one of both. I've used both already. We can use whatever. So it's okay to store our password here. So the .env, this is my user, this is password. It's the same thing. I don't think this matters. Maybe. Oh yeah, but this. Wait, what is the name again? PostgreSDB. Yeah, but I don't want it to. Let's call it casino. And I think this will automatically create a casino database if it doesn't exist. Let's see. So we need to generate a Prisma client. So we're gonna close all of this package here, and we're gonna say cogen. Later we're also gonna install cogen, but I want the cogen command to create the Prisma client plus generate automatic TypeScript types, etc. for our GraphQL API. So there we go. I'm gonna add some scripts from my other project here. And I'm gonna remove this though. There we go. So migration generate. This will generate a new migration from from the contents inside here. So whatever we change here, it will create a migration from that and run. This runs the migration. But if you just generate it, it will automatically run it on the database connected. Um, it will connect to the database here in the .env. But you need to use this script migration run for production or something like that, for example. But be careful before running this because you need to make sure that you're on the correct database. So pnpx prisma generate. For now, I'm not using the cogen command because we haven't installed the GraphQL cogen yet. So to add the cogen, pnpm add -d for the dev dependencies, at GraphQL -cogen /cli. Now, while this is doing something, installing, we're gonna create our cogen.yaml file and start configuring it. Okay, there we go. So here we can see the cogen.yaml file that I chose to use. So we have to use some plugins here, and we also have to set up our common package. So here's the big command to install those 3 plugins. You can see it here on the screen. I'm gonna add those, and then we're gonna set up the common package. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna go in packages here, common. We're gonna create a source. That's supposed to be a directory. Here, source. We're gonna set up TypeScript, and then we're gonna add this package to the backend and frontend so that I can use the code built inside this package automatically. So let's go in there, package common, and here pnpm init. There we go. I think, yeah, there we go. Here we are gonna call this casino / common. We are gonna install pnpm add -d tsx and add some scripts here. There we go. So we're missing a tsconfig now. So we're gonna add a tsconfig.json. Here I'm going to copy over a tsconfig from another project. This is not my specialty. I really don't like setting up tsconfigs. It's very confusing. So I'm just copying over what works. Okay, there we go. So now here we're going to need an index file that exports everything that we're going to use. And here we can set up whatever we want, like a library and test.ts export type test type equals, yeah, well, perfect. then here we need to export everything from lib/test. So now if we build this, if we npm build, there we go, this is built now and it has a dist. There we go. And so now we should be able to come back here and add this package to our backend, for example, and then we can use this type everything that we define inside here and build inside our backend and in frontend. So if I remember correctly, the command is npm add and then the name of my package, so casino/common. So to make this clear, this is the name you've put here, and then --workspace, then the targets. So let's go look at our backend, the package. This is just called backend, so backend. Workspace can only be used inside a workspace. Let me look this up. Actually, I just noticed that here I've misspelled this workspace, so that might be the problem if I rerun this. Let's see. Okay, effective. That is a good warning. I do not want to do that. I want to add it to my backend. So I don't get it. Do I not need to add this then maybe? If I just do it like this? This does seem to work. So now if I clear this and if I come um, the apps backend, if I try to maybe use some code. Oh yeah, we haven't defined these modules. I'll do that right after. Let's try to just test, and test type is what I called it, I think. It's not working. Okay, so let me think about what I'm missing. Okay, so I figured out the problem. So what I did is I went into my test in my common directory in my test file. I created a function here just to test if I could import it. Maybe it was something related to the types. But what I was missing is that in the package here, I need to add this. So if you add this, then here this works fine now. So I added it, then I went in my common directory and I ran npm build to make it updated inside here. And then since pnpm is symlinking the files from dist here to my backend folder, I can directly come inside my backend. I'm already here, and use the function if I want to. And I can also probably use the type now. If I do test type, there we go. So now it's working. Okay, so now we have to check if our codegen is gonna work. So we can just do, we need to go back to the other folder and pnpm codegen. So we have nothing, Prisma not found, okay. So yeah, that is true. I did not add Prisma here. So let's install Prisma as well. There we go. And now if I do pnpm, oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. Pnpm codegen. Okay, there we go. And then what does it say? That there's no files, is that it? Oh no, it says that it can't base itself on my schema.graphql file because I don't have any. So let's set up GraphQL now. So we're gonna add pnpm add at nestjs/graphql and at nestjs/apollo. And now we're gonna go start doing the nestjs setup. So here in the imports, we're gonna install the config module, which comes from nestjs config, which I didn't install. nestjs/config. There we go. So maybe I need to restart the TypeScript server for it to find it. Okay, I don't know why it's not auto-completing, but if I write it manually or copy paste it, then it does work. So that's fine with me. There we go. Apollo here. This is from nestjs Apollo as well. And why is he complaining? Unsafe assignment on an error typed value. Okay, so I think the problem is just that I didn't import join from path. There we go. So now we're going to create our Prisma module since we still haven't created this. Here we go, Prisma module, which imports the Prisma service. which we're gonna create now. And this is pretty simple. It just does this. It just extends the Prisma client, makes it injectable. There we go. So now if we look here in the model, in the module, now it's fine. And app module here, now we have to import this Prisma module. And later on in future episodes here, we're gonna add a bunch of modules like the pub sub module for subscriptions, Castle module if we need authorization, but I'm not sure. Authentication we will need, so we'll have an auth module probably. Bunch of stuff like that. Okay, so now if we start the server, let's try to start it. Pim start dev. What's the problem? Let's see. Query root must be provided. So I'm guessing the problem is that we're trying to initialize GraphQL even though we don't have anything related to GraphQL in our project. So let's create a little test module. So I created a little hello world here with this is the resolver. Here in the module I need to import the resolver. So hello world resolver. There we go. No need for exports actually, because we're not going to make a service. And then here we need to import this. So hello world module. So was this the problem or not? Let's see. Yes, it seems to be. So now it's fixed. So now that we've set up our GraphQL, it generates our schema.graphql, and thus this means that now we can test our code gen. See if it works. Okay, up. Yeah, so that's normal because we haven't defined any uh, any files in here src slash GraphQL, and here we'll put our queries, but we don't have any queries right now, and we're not going to make some in this video, so this is fine, but it works. It's set up, so that's good. One thing that I can't forget that I just remember is that in the vite config we need to specify something like if we add the casino common project here, just like we did in backend, it won't work because in vite you also need to specify it here in the config. So let me go look up how you do this again and then I'll show you. So there it goes. This is what you have to add, the resolve alias and then the alias for at oh, this is the wrong one. This is for casino now because I copied it over from another project. And we also have to add it just like we did before. So we come here in the front end and what was it again? pnpm add and add casino slash common and dash dash workspace. Okay, now if we just close everything and then go into the package of front end and search for casino, yes, it is here. So if we pnpm dev, is that it? Yeah, that's it. And we open it, we come here up and let's see if we can use the function. So I'm back in the code in front end. We're gonna just come here and say console.log and then what was it, test function I think I called it, yeah, like this. Up, I'm going to come here and there you go. This is a test function from the common package, so we can use our common package now. So this is perfect, it's what I wanted to test. Let's think about if there's anything else we have to set up before starting the project. Remember that I'm not planning any of these videos, I'm just gonna code. If I encounter problems, I'm gonna solve them with you, just like I'm doing right now. Well, I'm pausing and then solving it and explaining it to you, but these videos are not prepared. Yeah, another thing is that we need to set up a git ignore here. Git ignore because I don't want to add the dist folders. So I added this git ignore, but I don't understand why it's not showing in gray. Node node modules. There we go. Here it's supposed to be showing up in gray, but it's not. So I'm not sure if it's working or not, but we'll see. So we still have to set up the front end. So in the front end, I'm also gonna use a code gen, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna set it up now but we're gonna start by going to apps frontend and pm add at apollo slash client. We have to set up the Apollo client in the frontend in order to fetch data from the backend. So I'm gonna start by cleaning this up a bit because it's a mess. So let's delete the CSS here. This as well. Assets, yeah, we're gonna delete this. Okay, let's remove all of this. Let's create a utils folder and create a apollo.client.ts. So this is what the file looks like. So to explain this, this is our Apollo client that we're going to use. We give it the link. The link is based on our backend URL, which we're going to add to our .env file. So we'll have to define that. And then here, this auth link .concat, this is like a context for Apollo. So basically, every time we make a request, I want to make sure to use the latest bearer token that we're gonna use, and I'm gonna store it in local storage, our access token. And so this is how you do this in Apollo. I'm not sure if there's a better way yet. Maybe I'll find a better way in the future, but for now, this is how I'm doing it. So this allows me to have like a refresh system somewhere else in the code. Um, that when the token is about to expire, it's gonna refetch a new token and then put it in local storage. And since I know that on every request I get from the local storage my token, I know it's up to date. So now that I have this, here I need to add the Polo provider. So here's the Polo provider, and for the client, we're gonna use the client that we just built. Now we're gonna go build our app. So app.tsx. I'm gonna build something like this. So for now, I don't have a user authentication context, so I'm ignoring it. But we are gonna set up some routes. For now, we're just gonna use one route though. And I thought this was installed by default, but I guess not. So we have to add React Router DOM. We have to add React Router DOM. So I forgot the add word. So while this is loading, here we're gonna come and we're gonna create a pages folder. We're gonna call homepage.tsx, export function homepage, and we're just gonna return a div that says hello. And we're gonna come import this here. So let's see now. Yeah, there we go. There we go. This works. And here we're gonna include our app. Now we have set up our Apollo client. So we haven't set up Shed CN or Tailwind CSS, but this video is getting a bit long, so I'm gonna stop here. And we're not gonna code on the front end for a while because I'm gonna start building the back end first. So I'll do that part when I get to the front end. So this is it for now. We've made good progress on the setup, and next time we'll probably start coding some features. Bye bye. Subscribe if you want to see more.